Is there a group waiting for us when we transition, or a lineup? What's going on? What's it like in the other side? Can you slip through the death process and nobody really realized it? Do you wake up in a field, or is it like you're in some waiting room? What's the vibe when you make this most transformational move that we really make? So, what's the answer?
Well, I one of my favorite parts of the discussion about what happens after death is what Swedenborg says happens immediately for every single person who dies, which is that they go immediately to the highest, most loving angels, and they're just kind of in a bath of unconditional, pure love for a while. So that sounds like a group that's waiting for everybody.
Can I interject something?
Yeah.
When you said the word immediate, I would say, hey, check out our show that we did recently. So what to expect immediately after you die.
Or something like that. What happens immediately after you die?
What happens immediately after? I'm sure it's something. But it's something close to that, and that expands vastly on what Cardone just said. But continue.
So, I don't know, just that thought. And I think about, I love to imagine that in itself just affects so much healing, because so much of the suffering in this world is about people not being loved, or not feeling loved, or not, feeling like they matter or something. So to be just surrounded in this bath, and you start there, and then you trickle down to where you belong, where you can breathe, where you choose to be. But that group, that's who I really hope is waiting for all of us.
Sure.
That's what Swedenborg says.
Yeah. Amen.
And that group is multiple layers deep. It goes to heavenly angels, and then as soon as we ready to stir out of that, there's all the spiritual angels and everybody you could want. You get all the chances in the world to hang out for as long as you want in that. But
Well, yeah, I think you said it well. The only thing I could add is like kind of what motivates us a little bit at Off Left Eye. Like we get all these people in this community like writing to us and like just asking questions or needing support or just wanting to connect. And so I'm inspired by what Swedenborg talks about, that everyone gets this angelic reception. And it provides me motivation to try to embody that for you guys, for our fans, because we get 5,000 comments a month, and we put our hearts into supporting those things. We really care about every single one in a way that reminds me, hey, we can learn about heaven in so much as that it can maybe help us live a more loving life. Right. We get to do that for our fans here.
It should be transferable, and we should be able to look at the structure in which the societies of heaven operate and try to emulate that to our capacity. I mean, that's sort of the message of Swedenborg's writings, or at least the spiritual experience parts of them, is like, here's how it's going at optimum levels. There are places and ways in which you're not going to be able to emulate this, but there are other places where you very much are going to be able to try. So try. So I like that. Is how do you rubber meets the road there? Okay, are we forgetting anyone? Oh, right. Karen's out there. Karen, what do you think?
Love the discussion so far. What I'll add is I think that it seems like these first stages, when everyone transitions over with these very highest loving angels and tons and tons of love and everything, it seems like it can be a sort of dreamlike state for a lot of people. It's beautiful, and and people might get to a point where they get into a little bit more familiar territory at some point. And I think, kind of coming down out of that beautiful dream into a little more grounded place where you can start from. And I think that God and angels have such overwhelming love for every person, and they also have incredible respect for the comfort level of every person. And so as far as where people might kind of land when they get a little bit more awake, I imagine there is a lot of variety. For instance, if you were somebody who just was not comfortable in crowds, I imagine there wouldn't be a whole crowd around you that you kind of wake up with. There might be just one person that you love to the most, or one very comfortable angel, or it might be a group of, oh yay, my relatives from. I think that will be very customized as far as what would be most comfortable, even the setting that you kind of wake up into. So it's this wonderful combination of the most loving, beautiful possible environment and crowd that could help you cross over, but also just respect for what can you handle, what are you ready for, what would be the most comfortable way for you to kind of get your spiritual mind waking up and adjusting, just customized for you. So those are some more thoughts.
Yeah. So we're talking about an instance or a situation that's happened 100 billion times. Somebody dying. I was just looking at the human population figures because somebody had been asking on this channel saying if there's more people alive today than there ever have been in the past, what is it? But it's actually not true. There's been more, like 10 times more people have lived than are alive today, at least, or something. So this transition has happened so many billion times that for us to make any blanket statement about anything that has happened that many times, we're going to be way off. Well, there's going to be a lot of exceptions to that. So I would think that Swedenborg gives you, I think, something that is closer to the truth of that than just you stop existing. But there's certainly so much variation, and even has that intake mechanism, whatever it is, changed in the last 250 years since he was saying it. All this stuff we want to give you, it's the same thing when you read Swedenborg. Take and value the particulars that he gives you, but understand that he's talking about life, and life is more than you can fit into even those statements. So I always think it's this interesting thing of like taking him exactly at his word and wondering, how much of a slice of the totality is he describing there in that moment. But it's like a compass in the right direction, but there's going to be infinite variety. No two heavens are exactly the same because no two minds are exactly the same. So I'd imagine the beginning of no two heavens is going to be exactly the same, which